Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Gil Ponce and let's queer up entertainment. George Jefferson moving on up as Jefferson star outed as gay. It's been 50 years since the Jeffersons first hit American television screens. A bold, funny, and groundbreaking sitcom that spun off from All in the Family and went on to become one of the longest running sitcoms in U.S. history. But as fans celebrate the golden anniversary, one of its cast members is reflecting on what and who was overlooked. Damon Evans, who portrayed Lionel Jefferson for 3 seasons, is speaking out, not just about his own experience as a gay black actor in Hollywood, but about Sherman Hemsley, the man who played the unforgettable George Jefferson. In a recent interview, Evans said, and I quote, "There wouldn't have been a Jeffersons without Sherman, and yet, even after 11 seasons, he was only nominated once for an Emmy," end quote. Though co-stars like Isabel Sanford earned accolades, Hemsley was often sidelined. Evans believes it was because Sherman didn't play the industry game. Evans, who was also at the 1969 Stonewall Riots, claimed Hemsley was a gay man who never came out publicly. To quote, "We cruised the same places, went to the same parties, but it was something we didn't talk about." Evans said Hemsley lived quietly with a Puerto Rican partner who attended tapings and even performed with him in Vegas. Evans added, "He had so much going against him, being black and being gay, and he didn't seek out the attention. That was not his style." Now, Evans believes it's time to give Hemsley what he deserves. And we all know that during that time, it was difficult not just to be African American in Hollywood and in society, but being gay in Hollywood was its own difficulty. So I can only imagine the internal turmoil and the struggle that went into that.
I mean, the struggle is still real being black in Hollywood right now in 2025, so I am more happy that this actor and this man is getting his flowers. I wish that they were thrown earlier on than today, but yes.
But we also get to honor him in LGBTQ, right? Many of us didn't know that he was part of our community, so it's up to us to do this now, right? After he's gone, yes, it's a little late for that, but
how legacies live on, right?
No, it is how legacies live on, and it's awesome. Awesome that Damon Evans came up and said, "You know what? It's time for me to tell this story. However, I'm going to say it." Me and Jamal are big fans of the Jeffersons, and we were talking about documentaries that we've seen, and they got a lot of pushback for a lot of the episodes that they wanted to do their way. They have a trans episode that really blew me away, and we spotlighted it on the Faye What Show, me and Jamal. And I mean, before its time, the language was so on point. It was just so epic. And Isabel, the woman who played Wheezy, and Sherman would fight with directors and writers and everything about how certain things should be written, and that pushback didn't go their way, even though I think they had 11, 12 seasons or whatever, right?
11, it's at 11. You know what it is? It was like almost, I've never really seen another show outside of the Jeffersons where it's just not really spoken about. It's almost just like you don't have to come out. It's just like it's okay. Schitt's Creek, I think, did that where they never really addressed if someone comes out of the closet or what the sexual preference is. It just is. You're just being whomever you are, and you love whoever you are. And I think that's what you kind of mean when you say that it was almost like ahead of its time in the sense, not to throw the word woke out there, but it was just a smart script and show paired together.
Well, I mean, but think about it. Black folks moving on up.
Right.
Here we are 50 years later.
Right.
50 years later.
It was woke.
And it was woke. And 50 years later, we still sing the theme song. We still know it. It's still part of pop culture.
It was completely.
You know what I mean? But it was a story about black folks moving on up. Go figure.
And evolving ahead of its time.
But the point is that it was a reality that was not being put on TV. Black folks did not see themselves on TV, and they were able to see themselves not in a role as a criminal or anything like that. They were moving on up.
Yep.
It was wonderful.
And that's the magic of Norman Lear. You know, he was the one who created all of this.
Yep.
And it allowed somebody like me, a young, white, gay kid from New Jersey, to sit and watch the Jeffersons for 10 years and then thoroughly enjoy it because I knew what I was getting. I liked the All in the Family, the Maude, all the ones that were pushing things. He was very good with pushing LGBTQ plus right in the front on the TV stuff, tackling all the issues and being fair about it. And we were portrayed very well by him. So,
like he was always the bad guy. Yeah. He was always the bad guy in it. You know what I mean? How wonderful was that? Gil, anything wash over you more? Because you were looking at me, giving me the eye.
Oh, I had already said my piece, but I appreciate it.
No, because he was just like, maybe. Okay. Well, again, he deserves his flowers after. Somebody needs to give him an Emmy or something afterwards.
Agreed.
More than one Emmy, let's be real. All those years and just nominated one time.
As long as I think that if Sherman would have wanted that, I have a little bit of a problem with, people outing celebrities or people after they passed. And I just hope that, it came from a good place of him telling Sherman's story at this point.
I think it comes from a good place. It's just like the Peg LaBelle, Luther Vandross sort of situation. Where, for the community, we do need that information. We do. From what I understand from a lot of documentaries, he was private with his private life, but for the people that were close or the people who knew him, even people on set at the Jeffersons and Amen, they knew that he was a homosexual. They also knew that he was turned down for a lot of roles because Hollywood did know in some capacity that he was.
That's true. You don't think about it. He didn't do movies or anything, cameos anywhere, Naked Gun or something. You know what I mean? Like they could have thrown him in easily. And
exactly.
It was never a part of that.
It was never a thing because they knew. And so now I think it's good because we can correct history, and we can give the flowers where they need to be laid.
Good.
Amen.
Rest in power. Ashe, Sherman Hemsley.
Amen. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.